Welcome everybody to a video sponsored by Lumix and to the Lake District, an incredibly wet Lake District, the wettest Lake District I reckon I've ever seen. And I mean, it is February, but apparently we've already had 150% of the average rainfall for February, and we're only 2/3 of the way through February. So yeah, lots and lots of water. I'm on my way up Low Rig Fell. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but yeah, on my way up there. Not nearly as early as I'd hoped, to be honest. As many of you will know, I'm not a morning person. I had a 3-hour drive this morning. Didn't quite leave on time, and also because of the rain, there were delays on the road. It's not great not being a morning person as well as a photographer, to be honest, as I'm sure you can imagine. But if you had a scale of morning person to not morning person, I reckon I would be like, well, over here. Anyway, today, a couple of aims. Do walking and avoid swimming. I mean, I definitely don't want to speak too soon, but I think it's brightening up. It's the sun. I think I spoke too soon, to be honest. The sun's gone and the hail's here. Sorry if you're getting motion sickness. I'm trying to balance you quite precariously on these rocks because I want to show you my new purchase, and that means I need to balance you on these rocks. The hail's gone, only lasted about 2 minutes, so I no longer regret coming up here. What I do regret is having my lunch at 10:30 this morning en route. I was hungry, but I liked my lunch. It was the same thing I had in the last video, the avocado, black bean, chili pita thing. You probably don't care, but it was very nice, and I'm quite excited about that being my primary lunch, I think, going forward. Certainly a candidate. Anyway, before I forget, this is a photography channel, so let me talk about photography and my new tripod. Yes, you heard right, I've bought a new tripod. Now, as you'll know, if you've watched my channel for any length of time, I hate using tripods for pretty much everything, but I need them sometimes if it's dark or if I need to film something, and typically on days like this I need to film things, and if I want to avoid trying to rest the camera on rocks on every single shot, I clearly need a tripod of some sort. So I've bought one. Now it's a bit bigger and heavier than I would like, but given that I need one so much for filming, I just took the hit, and well, this is it. So this is a small rig, something or other. It's made by a company called Small Rig. I got it on Amazon, 35 quid. It's not sponsored, I paid for it, and I'm quite happy with it so far. I mean, it's got quite sturdy legs, and critically, it's got an Arca Swiss plate. So I can take my camera from my shoulder mount on my camera bag and just stick it straight in here. So that is something that my other mini tripods have never had. So yeah, this, I reckon, will be pretty much the only tripod I ever take out with me most of the time. So not ever, but mostly this is going to become my primary tripod, and I think it should do everything I need it to. I had a good laugh the other day because Nigel Danson was telling me when we were in Iceland that sometimes he gets people on his workshops asking if I seriously don't use a tripod for my stills, which made me laugh simply because using a tripod for stills is quite a niche thing when you're in sort of daylight, but lots of people do it for all of their photos, typically because I guess they're kind of landscape type photographers. Now, landscape photography is a big thing on YouTube, but in the grand scheme of photography, landscape photography is a tiny niche. And to be honest, it's much more common to hardly ever use a tripod than to always use one, particularly for shots like this in the middle of the day. You know, things like focus stacking and using heavy ND filters, they are, in the scheme of things, quite niche techniques. And so it's not particularly odd of me, I don't think, that I don't use a tripod often. It's more odd when you do use a tripod often. Not that there's anything wrong with it. It's perfectly fine to use a tripod all the time. It's just I don't want people thinking it's strange not to use one, because it's not really, I don't think. Oh, sunshine. Beautiful. Right. Speaking of photography, I should probably do some. So I think I'll strap the GoPro on and do some point of view shooting now that the conditions have improved. I mean, it's still a largely overcast day in February. And to be honest, it's quite windy and cold, but I'll take it given what it looked like an hour ago. Right then, it's pretty windy, so I've got no idea if you can hear me. I need to get that medium mod, that GoPro medium mod. But I'm going to kick things off with the telly, the 35-100, and I'm just going at the snow line at the moment because the cloud above it is super moody, which makes a nice natural contrast. I suspect that today, as pretty as it looks, won't be the sort of day that I get any portfolio images, but to be honest, that rarely happens anyway. Ooh, a big puddle. Will I be able to find a decent reflection in it? Gonna have to get low if there's anything. Not really. Don't sink. Do not sink. This is where a screen, fully articulated screen like this one on the G9, comes in so handy. The wind's picked up, reflection gone. I think this might get a bit brutal. Still, Lake Windermere over there, that's pretty. I mean, I've certainly seen it prettier, but well, this is quite miserable, to be honest, but it could be worse. It could be rain. Hail is better than rain because at least you stay relatively dry. Oh look, there's people on the ridge. Right, they are getting papped. That didn't really work. I think I needed them to stand further apart. Maybe I'll clone one of them out or something. Wow, what is that? And it's gone. Excellent wildlife photography. This can't be the right way. And bright sunshine, obviously. It's quite nice if I'm out the way of those trees. Around here though, there's a couple of layers. I think again, it might need something longer. Oh, again, it just needs a person. Oh, that couple's going up there. Okay. I'll probably end up using, well, not quite the rule of thirds. They'll be in the bottom right third of the frame. They're not right on the ridge line, which is fair enough. I mean, they're probably just following the path. Ideally, one of them would have worn a bright colour as well, but not moaning. Ooh, that's nice now. Layers, layers, layers. F5.6, that gives me 1/1600th of a second shutter speed. As you can hear, I'm bracketing. So I'm underexposing by what my camera is saying is 2 stops at the moment. So my middle exposure is 2 stops underexposed, and that's just to bring out the contrast really in the light at the moment. If I'm being honest, I don't think I've nailed any of those people shots, but I'm going to move on for fear of looking like a creep. I can't exactly hide either, I'm in an orange jacket. Ooh, more people. I think they might be looking at me, so I'll have to be quick. I don't know why everyone's in pairs today. Please do let me know in the comments how the wind is. I'm just using the GoPro mic currently, and I imagine the wind is potentially a little bit annoying. If so, I think I'll buy a media mod kit that you can get for the GoPro, and then I'll be able to stick a lav mic in, which should be much better in wind. But yeah, let me know. I think it's quite impressive for what it is, but the couple of times I have been in wind with it, I've noticed, so I probably should have planned that for today, to be honest. So apologies about that if the wind's annoying, but I will sort it. Well, that guy with the mountain bike made me a bit jealous that I've not got mine. Mostly because it started hailing again, and he's probably already home with a cup of tea. Anyway, the reason I didn't bring my mountain bike is I didn't want episode 1 and episode 2 to both be mountain biking videos. I kind of thought that would be a bit too mountain bike heavy. On reflection, by the time we get to episode 300, I don't think it'll matter that 2 videos were the same, but never mind. On the subject of episode 1, actually, thank you very much for your feedback. If you're wondering why your feedback hasn't been implemented into this video, for example, if you've asked me to dress like Shania Twain and I've clearly not, the reason for that is that the video hasn't gone live yet. It goes live tomorrow, and therefore I haven't seen your comments. I'm taking a bit of a punt that at least one of you has left a comment. If not, this is going to look a bit stupid, but yeah, I'm looking forward to what you think of that. Also, thank you very much for watching episode 2. I'm well aware that this sort of video is not the sort to excite the YouTube algorithms. It's sadly still the case. If you want loads of views on YouTube with photography videos, you need to make titles like 5 top tips to become a photography billionaire or something like that. Frustratingly, they're still the videos that get all the views. And don't get me wrong, I've made my fair share of them, but I'm not really all that interested in making videos like that anymore. I'm more interested in viewers as opposed to views. What I mean by that is I want people to enjoy the journey of these videos collectively and individually. And yeah, that excites me more than just views of people who watch one video and then never come back. I mean, to be honest, if this video gets 0 views, I may have to rethink that. But for the time being, I'm looking forward to carrying on with this sort of thing, even when it's hailing. Ooh, it looks moody over there again. Nasty. I reckon we got 10 minutes until another downpour, which is not ideal, but c'est la vie. Here it comes. Might make for a nice shot, actually, that. If I can get over here quick enough without stacking it. I think that looks pretty nice. If there was more snow, I'd slow the shutter speed down to try and capture some of it in the frame, but I'm not sure there's quite enough for it to make it into the shot. Literally 4 seasons today. Ow! Ah! Hail! That looks quite cool. The weather moving across the mountain. Sorry folks, I didn't realise my GoPro lens was so watered. Anyway, this is Rydal Cave. And as you might be able to tell, it's half term. What a cave. I would put that, I reckon, in my top 10 caves I've ever been to. I couldn't list the other 9 off the top of my head, to be honest. I don't think it's the best cave I've ever been to, but I'll certainly be going back. Not when it's school holidays, though. Anyway, as you can see, it's turned into a lovely early evening here in the Lake District. Obviously, it's been lovely all day. And I've got a couple of miles back to the car, and I'm going to take it slow and hopefully find some things to take photos of along the way as the sun slowly sets. It would probably be nice to be at the top now, actually. I imagine the light will be quite good, but never mind. Also, those who are eagle-eyed amongst you might have noticed that I don't seem to have a bag with me today. And you might be thinking, I'm sure I've seen some drone shots. I'm sure I've seen him use his GoPro. I'm sure I've seen him change lenses. I've definitely seen him use his G9. What the hell's going on? Maybe he's just got the world's biggest coat pockets. No, I do have a bag with me, but I can't show it to you. It's a brand new bag, or it's newer than that. It's not even released yet, and I've been sent one. I signed an NDA, and therefore I can't show it to you until May. Know though that it's game changing. I absolutely love it. I'm not involved with the company in any way. I've just been lucky enough to be sent a free one, and yeah, I can't wait to show it to you. I've not developed a bag, if that's what you're thinking. Can you imagine? I don't think I'd be very good at that. But yeah, essentially that's meant that every time I've done a bit of walking B-roll today, I've had to remember to take my bag off. Easier said than done. I reckon I'm going to have to get these boots incinerated if they're going to be dry by the morning, which I appreciate wouldn't work, but hopefully it gives you a flavour of just how wet they are. Thank you for watching, everybody. I really appreciate it. Like I said before, I appreciate that you watch these sorts of videos. At least I think I said that before. It's been a long day. Regardless of whether I did or didn't, I really appreciate you watching these sorts of videos. And thank you also to Lumix for sponsoring these videos. I really appreciate that too. And I appreciate you making wonderful equipment. As per usual, all the stills that you saw in this video were shot with my G9. Right, I'm going to go and have a shower, and I'll be back tomorrow. Not here, I'll go somewhere else. I mean, these videos are going to be like this, but I will go somewhere else. You know what I mean.